us. Welcome to Tuesday training. Today we've got something new and exciting to share with you in the form of a mobile device management platform from SOTI. Now with the SOTI MDM, you'll have the support and technology to offer your customers a means to manage their mobile devices. And this includes Android-based radios such as the Motorola Ion, Evolve, and the Lex 11. With such a broad scope in the SOTI MDM, you'll be able to position this with almost any customer, even if they don't have Android radios. And with our SOTI engagement model, can also be as hands-on or as hands-off as you like. So to introduce you to the SOTI solution, we have Christian Andre from SOTI. Over to you, Christian.
Hi, everyone. Thanks to everyone for joining. And good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. But I really appreciate everybody spending their time to come to today's session. As Jason said, it's something that's very exciting for us too, because we can see a lot of benefits already. Using this software on the devices that Jason mentioned. So what I'd like to do today is basically just three things. I'd like to first just give you an introduction to our company, just a very high level overview. The second thing is I'd like to show you our product. I won't be getting into, I won't be getting too technical, but sometimes it's good to see things to understand them. So I'll give you a quick demonstration to highlight some of our key features. And then to finish up, I'll be looking at the way we engage with our partner base and our customers as well. I think that's really important, just so you understand, exactly how we work together and where everybody fits into the picture. So hopefully you can all see my screen and my details on there. So I'll kick off the first part of the presentation. So SOTI, I'll start by talking a little bit about our company. So we have around 17,000 customers globally. So that's everything from SMBs, with a very small device footprint, all the way through to multinationals, with over 500,000 devices worth millions of dollars. So huge range of customers. We've built up more than 6,000 capabilities in the product. I don't know who counts these things. And I'm sure you'll be relieved to hear I won't be going through every single one of those. I'll be focusing on the top 5 or 6 features, just to give you a feel of exactly what value that we can offer. And one of our strengths is our partnerships. Partnerships with ACE, for example. We work through our channel completely. Okay, so we don't deal directly with end users. Okay, so for us, channel is everything, and it's not just around the commercials. It's also on a technical level. With Motorola engineering team, for example, we can work closely to make sure that the devices are working with our software as it's supposed to. That's a strong differentiator for us. Just a quick overview of our offices around the world. Our head office is in Canada, where we also do our research and development. And although we have a presence in 28 countries, our regional headquarters, so our APAC headquarters, are based here in Australia. So what that means for our Australian customers is you get unlimited business hour support as standard. Okay. Now the good thing is, because we have that international presence as well, there are 24/7 support options as well. We actually have 22 support staff sitting in our, well, when it's not COVID anyway, but sitting at our support office headquarters in Melbourne, but we have a presence right across Australia. Now, to give you an overview of some of our customers, now our marketing people, they like to put our, very big customers on, and that's great to show you, some of the customers that we have. but I would say that our customers range from all sizes, okay? So they can be quite big, well-known customers, all the way through to, you know, SMBs or smaller customers, you know, say with 10 or 20 devices. So it's a very scalable solution. You know, it works from 44,000 licenses. That's our largest customer in Australia, Australia Post. Internationally, mind you, our largest customer is Delivery Hero. They have more than 1 million devices under SOTI management. So you can get an idea of how well our solution scales. But yeah, I want it to be clear, we actually cater for customers of all sizes and across all verticals as well. You can see there's a lot of different verticals here. So we have reasonably broad appeal across all sectors. Also worth noting that we have, and one of our strong differentiators is our broad device support. Okay, so we covered everything from rugged devices, you know, single-use tablets, smartphones, laptops, and PCs. You know, some of our more interesting projects have been around, you know, augmented reality using RealWear headsets, for example, or point-of-sale systems. Okay, so it's very important for an organisation where, you know, you've got your Motorola devices, but perhaps you've also got other devices around the organisation, and not necessarily Android. You know, it could be Windows, could be Android, iOS, Mac OS. We even have the capability to manage printers via Link OS, which is a Linux operating system. So it's a very broad operating system support. And at a very high level, I just want to go through our solution. And excuse me, by the way, if I can't see the chat screen at the moment, so if there are any questions, you know, maybe Jason or Katie, you can jump in and just make me aware. It's just hard for me to see that at the moment. But just to give you a broad overview of the platform, we actually have what we call a SOTI One platform. Okay, so there's a different components to this platform. Now, our flagship product is here, which is SOTI Mobi Control. That still accounts for the vast majority of our sales. And when most people think of SOTI, they think of our device management component, which is SOTI Mobi Control. But a couple of things that I will mention today is also SOTI Excite, which is our diagnostic intelligence tool, and also SOTI Snap, which allows rapid app development. And we also have a dedicated printer management solution. I won't go into SOTI Central or SOTI Identity, but just so you know, we'll be focusing on these three main areas: Mobi Control, Excite, and Snap today. So one of the best ways to, I guess, work out, you know, at a high level what the product does, just a very quick summary. One of the biggest advantages is rapid device deployment. Now, somebody that's had no experience with deploying devices or understanding what mobile device management is, I start from basics. Usually I'll explain, you know, everybody has got their new mobile phone. In fact, I got a new phone on the weekend and went through the setup process myself. You know, you've got to download your apps or that wizard, and then it takes a long time to set the device up. You know, you've got to change all the settings, make sure everything is exactly how you want it to be for how you're going to use it. So you imagine you're doing that for your own device, but if you're managing, say, a corporate fleet, even if it's 10 devices or, you know, 100 or 1,000, doesn't really matter. That approach, doing that setup manually, just doesn't scale, okay? So with rapid device deployment, we can configure the devices how we want them to be when they're set up. And it's as simple as perhaps even scanning a barcode. There's a few methods, but it's simple as scanning a barcode, and that device will automatically become aware of how it's supposed to be configured and set up. So as you can imagine, that makes the management and deployment of those devices, you know, a lot easier and a lot quicker. We also have leading remote support. So you can remote control into devices and support them into the field, Important to note there, it's not a third-party tool that we integrate. Our remote support is an integral part of our product, okay? So it's been designed from the ground up to work with our product. And not all other solutions can claim that for sure. We also have the ability to do live location. You can see where devices are at any given time. And you can even set policies depending on where the device is. And I'll give you an example, a quick demonstration of how that works. To save on hardware costs, we can also share devices amongst different users. So that way they can have a single device and different users can then log in, and use that device. We have a kiosk mode, meaning that you can lock down the experience to maybe even a single screen or a few key applications and not allow the users to do anything beyond that, like their YouTube or, whatever apps they might like to use. We can actually put you in full control or put your customers in full control of what the end users can do. And as a philosophy, we are for mission and business critical. That has been our focus for a long time, and a lot of our product philosophy is underpinned by that goal. Okay, it's really important to us. A lot of companies, they need their devices to be up when they're needed, and when they're down, that's a big problem. So our focus is to make sure that those devices are working when customers need them to work. Now, I won't get too technical, but it's a good idea, I think, sometimes to look at the product, right, to understand what it actually does. Okay, so what I'd like to do now is just show you the product and go through a few examples of how the product works. Okay, so you understand it a little bit better. So when you log in to the mobi control console, you would see this screen for the first time in your laptop, and up the top you can see, we can see different sections here. Up the top we've got a variety of different charts showing things like, the different manufacturers of the device, battery percentage, available memory, total storage, that sort of thing. And you can add as many charts across the top as you like, depending on what information you'd like at your fingertips. Now on the left-hand side, what you're seeing there are the device groups. So in this example, it's a retail example, and obviously quite a large one, a multinational. They have different stores in different countries, so by UK, France, Germany, and then within the USA, for example, you can drill down by city and then through to individual stores. And even within a store, you can define different functions. So you might have corporate users on their devices, you might have store associates, your retail workers at the coalface, and warehouse, for example. So the logistics side of things. So you can organize that whichever way you like. Our customers have full flexibility over how that's designed. But it's important to note that this is set up in a hierarchy. Okay, so if you wanted to set a policy at this level to say, hey, I want all our users to have 8-character passwords, for example, and nothing less. You want strong passwords to be enforced. You can set it up here at this root level, and then it sort of trickles down the hierarchy. It cascades down to make sure that it doesn't matter where your device is, it will inherit that policy. Okay, so the interesting thing there is, yes, you can do that here, but as you drill down into different functions, you can be very specific around the different policies that you set, and I'll show you that to give you an example of that shortly. Now, the other key part of the interface here is search. So you can do that to drill down further into devices that meet a certain criteria. So in this example, we're searching for our product manager Shasha's devices. Here we can find all of those, but it could be easily something like, find all the devices with a battery charge that have less than 20%. So that way, you could remind your users or whoever is managing that fleet to put them on charge, right? Because you don't want to get halfway through a shift, and find that your devices are out of battery. Other customers have used that, search to make sure that their devices are all up to date in terms of their software updates and the versions of software that got installed on them. So there's all sorts of, search criteria that you can use. Now, when you tap on a particular device, you can see all the details again, all the hardware details, antivirus, custom attributes. So it's a vast, sum of information there. A lot of it you probably won't need, but more importantly, you can see all the configurations that have been set up, so all the policies. You can even see the applications that have been installed on a particular device. We also have a location tab, so you can see where that device, you can pinpoint its exact location, at any given time, wherever it is in the world. And we also have, you can set the different views, that sort of thing. We also have a capability I mentioned before called geofencing. So you can create a geographical fence around any area within the map, any polygonal shape or size. And once you have that fence, and we can see it being set up there, you can actually, apply policies on that device, for example, when it enters or exits a particular location. Now, some of our retail customers actually use that capability, to track down devices when they leave a particular store, because, depending on how you manage your devices, when it leaves a particular store, it might be a good indication that it's actually been stolen. Okay, so that's just one example, but there's many different policies that you can set. Now, if there's an issue with a particular device in the field, this is where one of our most powerful capabilities comes in, and that is remote control. Okay, so when I select a device and tap on remote control, you'll see what happens here is it brings up the device on the screen, and you can see exactly what's going on that device, right? So, not only has it got this nice skin around the device, and that can be matched to the particular device that you've enrolled, but you can also control the hardware buttons. So you can turn the device off and on, or access the volume buttons, or if it's got programmable buttons, access those. Again, it's like you've got that device in the palm of your hand, but it could be, it basically anywhere in the world. Okay, and this is one of our most commonly used features. Not just from a support perspective, but also, from an asset management perspective as well. Now, I'll explain some of the policies that we can set. So in this example device here, you can see there's a few applications that perhaps should be there, depending on, a company's policies. We've got Facebook, we've got Netflix, we've got Snapchat, Tinder, maybe, not suitable applications. So with that situation in mind, what we can do is we've got some policies set up in the corporate folder here. What we'll do is we'll move that device over into the corporate folder. And it's as simple as dragging and dropping. See that there? So what happens is, now watch very carefully on the device. You'll see that some apps are disappearing and others have appeared. Okay, so what's happened is in the background, certain applications have been silently blacklisted, okay, to prevent the users from using them, and other applications have been whitelisted, so silently installed in the background. And these are the corporate applications, SOTI Hub and SOTI Surf. So it's very easy to control, even at a corporate level, which applications that an end user has access to. Now, on other occasions, we might want to apply a capability called device lockdown. Okay, so this is where you can customize the exact look and feel of a device and bring to the forefront applications that are critical to job functions and remove those that aren't. So in this example, we've set up policies in the store associates folder. So again, we'll grab Shash's device and we'll move it from the corporate folder into the store associates folder. And in a matter of seconds, you'll see that a different profile has been applied. There we go. It's been applied to that device. And it's basically a fully locked down screen. You know, you can still scroll to the left and right, but you'll notice that the end users, they only have access to the applications that they need and absolutely nothing else. They've got track and trace, their camera apps, phone, they're picking out that sort of thing, but they no longer have any access to the device settings, you know, Play Store, YouTube, or anything else that's not strictly required to do their job. So as far as SOTI mobi control goes, they're really the high-level features that I wanted to show you today. Another thing, and we position this by default with every opportunity that we get for customers, we position SOTI Excite. And it's a very new product. It works together with mobi control, but it gives you an insight into your fleet, into the fleet of your devices that allow you to manage them, you know, to a very fine degree. Actually, what I might do is, for this part, I'll skip to a live demonstration. I'll just move this onto the screen. Hopefully you can see my screen now. So yes, so this is actually a live demo. Always a little bit risky, I know, but I think it's the best way, probably the quickest way, I hope anyway, of just explaining what it is. I'll just get this set up here to make sure I've got some data coming through. There we go. So just to set up, or just to explain how this product came to be. Now, if you're supporting some devices in the field, what happens, I guess, is, you know, you might have users out in the field with their devices. When they experience a problem, they might let you know, right? It might be a help desk scenario where they ring up, they say, hey, I'm having an issue with my device. And then you'll go through troubleshooting, right? And for that, remote control is absolutely invaluable, because, you know, your help desk staff or whoever's managing the devices can go in and see, you know, what's happening on the device. Now, one of the limitations of that approach is that it's very reactive, okay? You usually only engage help desk when an issue has actually occurred, right? And at that point, it's usually a problem, right? There's some that, you know, maybe the user can't use their device, or maybe they're really busy and they don't have time to deal with it, so they throw the device in the corner and, you know, get on with their job in another way, you know, by paper. And they might, if you're lucky, report it at the end of their shift, or most likely they just won't bother, right, because it's too much trouble. So what SOTI Excite allows you to do is to be more proactive, okay, to detect problems or detect issues that are occurring on devices before they actually become a problem in the field. So if we look at the menu here, what we see is we see a number of different aspects of the device, and we'll go through each one quite briefly. We've got battery status, app usage, data usage, last location, really good if you know, from an asset management standpoint, trying to work out where devices, you know, if they go missing, where exactly they are, and signal strength, so looking at connectivity on the device. So we'll start with battery status. If I go to the battery status component, what you'll see here is we've got, again, you can drill down into, you know, different devices that you've got here, but you can also see things like, what's the battery capacity? You know, what's the battery temperature? What's been happening with those devices? How many charge cycles, you know, have those devices come up to? Because, you know, more than, say, 300 charge cycles can indicate that a battery, you know, is getting towards the end of its life. So you want to be able to see, hey, are there, as devices age, you know, should we be proactive about replacing batteries in devices. So you can see all of that information here. And I know from working on the hardware side of things, I've seen customers replace all the batteries in their fleet, and that can be a substantial cost and very time consuming. But if you use something like SOTIX site, you can actually just focus on the batteries that are considered bad and need replacing. So that way it can represent, a really good cost saving, because you're being very targeted in how you're managing those devices. App usage is another interesting one. Just wait for that to update. And it could be a lot of organisations, maybe they've invested a lot of money in developing an app, and they want to make sure that they're being used, for example, to make sure that you're getting a return on investment. So hopefully the app that you've designed and developed is one of the top 5 apps in use across your whole fleet, and it doesn't show up in the top 5 apps that are unopened, okay? But otherwise, you've got really no insight into what's happening, but here you can drill down and see, exactly what's happening, across your whole fleet. I won't go through data usage, but you can see how much devices have uploaded and downloaded and that sort of thing. Last location is an interesting one. So you can see all sorts of stats. You can even see on a map where particular devices are located, and if they're red, it means that perhaps they're lost because they haven't checked in for a while. So it's really nice being able to have that overlaid on a map. Signal strength is an interesting one, especially if the devices are out in the field, moving around a lot. You can really get an insight into what's happening in terms of connectivity. If users are complaining that they have no reception, on a map, we've got a heat map here, and you'll see that there's these red sections, which indicates that devices are, experiencing very poor connectivity when they're in these areas. Or you've got green areas where things are good, or you've got sort of areas here, the amber areas, where connectivity is not so good. So it's really nice being able to, have that level of insight, because if users are complaining about not being able to connect, you can come in here and work out whether or not it's a common problem, or whether it's just specific to a particular user or even a set of devices. So that's all I really wanted to show you in terms of the product side of things. Actually, very briefly, I'll show you very briefly SOTI Snap. So SOTI Snap is our app development platform. So it's a separate product that you can purchase. And you think about it like this: if organisations, invest a lot of money in devices, what we found, especially in the beginning, was a lot of companies still had a lot of paper-based processes. So it made sense, now that they had these devices, that they were able to digitize those processes. And what we did to support those customers is we created SOTI Snap, which is basically allows you to create applications, apps, and then deploy them on those devices. So there's a lot of different, I've done a lot of different sample apps for customers. One interesting one here for a customer I recreated was, for a retail customer, how is our service today? Just a very simple app where users can come and, tap on, different parts of the screen to give feedback on what their service is. But just to give you an idea of how easy it is to create these types of apps, we've got a widget screen over here. And if you want to drag anything on, you can drag a text box on, for example, and then you've got access to all its properties. So you can, change the way it displays or how it's aligned, pretty much everything to do with that text box. And basically, once you've done that and you publish your app, you're able to collect data on that, from that device with that app. So I know it's not a long demonstration, but there's so many different types of apps that you can create. I've created apps for customers for one customer recently, they had lots of facilities. I created one to control the access to their gates on their properties, to make sure that people in remote locations weren't opening gates that they weren't supposed to. So it's a really wide range of applications that you can actually build these apps for. Now, just one other thing, that's really all I wanted to show you on the product side of things. But I think it's important as we finish up here, just to understand, and before I go on, actually, I saw that there's a couple of questions up here. I'll have a look at, yes, so just some questions from the product component. Can data usage be a chart to see who is abusing the data pool? Yes, you absolutely can. You can drill down into individual users, and you can drill it down to app level. You can see which apps are using the most data. So yes, absolutely you can. And the second question is, when in remote control, can the user of the device see that you are on the device? Yes, they can. Not in all circumstances. There's a few caveats there, but in some situations they're actually prompted to give you permission. But there are ways where we can configure it depending on your use case, where you don't necessarily need their permission to access that screen. Okay, so I hope that's answered your question there, Grant. Now, just going on to our partner benefits, I think that's worth going into. I'll just close that down. So yeah, how do you engage with us? That's good for you to know, obviously, as a partner and an end user, and how we engage with all our different partners. So at a very high level, we do have a very mature partner program, and that's distributors, resellers, end users, and some of the benefits that we offer you as a partner is, first of all, deal registration. So if you register a deal with us, we will protect you on pricing there. Obviously, we're not in control of whether an end user wants to get multiple quotes. They'll say that is very rare. Okay, so the upshot is, if you bring an opportunity to us, you win it basically, and everything goes through Ace Communications as our distributor as well. So you would purchase directly from Ace, and we'll go through that in a moment. The second thing is we have flexible engagement options, and what I mean by that is, you as a partner, right? You might not be, I guess, overly knowledgeable in mobile device management. Your focus may be elsewhere. Excuse me for one moment. So you might need a lot of help when it comes to, getting a customer interested or setting them up with mobile device management. Now, I have a customer a partner in Western Australia who has never seen a product demonstration, right? You've actually seen more about our product than they've actually seen, okay? But we had a good conversation, and basically I said to them, if you have any customers that are, deploying devices in the field, all I want you to ask them is, hey, how are you setting up those devices, and how are you going to manage them when they're in the field. Now, if at that point the customer says, oh, you know, I'm not sure, or if they have any interest in device management, then they refer the customer directly through to me, okay? And more often than not, they end up getting a purchase order and then obviously being able to add their margin onto the top of that. So that can be very light touch. You can just refer customers through to me or through to us, and we do everything, okay? As I said before, we've got 22 support staff here based in Australia, but we also have sales engineering resources. So we can guide you as a partner or your customers every step of the way through our product setup, you know, to make sure, because the learning curve can be difficult. So we want to do all the heavy lifting for you if that's what you need, okay? So internally we have marketing support, professional services, technical support, sales engineering, basically everything needed to fully support the product. Now, on the other side, right, from referral only engagement is managed service. That's where we have partners that want to provide a full managed service to their customers. So they might have support staff who are trained up in our product, can support it at least to level 1. It could be that their sales people understand the product enough to be able to, you know, sell that actively out in the field. So, you know, depending on your level of engagement, you want to eventually go down that path as well. But I want you to know that we'll support you, whether or not it's referral only or right through to providing our product as a managed service to your customers. We support every model, okay? We have a full set of partner tools and resources. I'll show you very quickly. We've got, I'll do it here. We've got our partner portal. So this is just to give you an idea of what our partner portal looks like. Oh no, it's asking me to log in again. Bear with me one moment. You obviously won't be getting that message when you log in, but our partner portal is here. As you can see, there's lots of different sales resources. So we've got, you know, lots of sales presentations, if you want to look, you know, collateral, videos, white papers, all of those sorts of things. We've got full branding resources. So if you want to add us onto your website, for example, you can use all our marketing and branding copy here. You know, we've got our pricing guide, which I'll be going through in a moment. You know, all our new news and promotions. Support, you know, you can lodge support tickets here if you want to offer support as part of your solution to your customers. We've got full access to all our training resources as well. So it's a pretty, you know, comprehensive partner program that we have, put it that way. And of course, I guess most importantly, maybe I should have led with that, is attractive margins. You know, we do, and I'll show you some pricing in a second, but we do pricing, the project pricing. For partners as well, we also offer tier discounts as well. The idea is that we work through our channel. So we want to make, you know, we want to make it as attractive as possible for you to work with us, right? So that's why we offer really good margins and all these incentives. Now, just giving you a rough idea of pricing. Please don't be put off with everything that's here. I won't go through everything. I'll just go through the main products. If a customer is interested only in SOTI mobi control, and more often than not, it's hosted in the cloud these days, although they can, you know, install it on premise if they want. But if you're selling mobi control, the list price is around $6 per device per month. But obviously, yeah, we would like you to be able to offer it to your customers for less than list price as well. So we'll be, you know, offering discounts accordingly, and I'll go through what those are in a moment. So then that's the main offering as far as mobi control goes. What's happening at the moment, very popular, are our bundles. And that is where we bundle all of our products together. So I showed you Snap and Excite and mobi control. You can bundle those together and add enterprise support. So we have different support tiers, and you can have that all in one platform. Okay, so it's got an RRP of $12.69 AUD, but of course, we'll give you some attractive pricing to be able to offer to your customers at a discount. We also have Snap. If a customer is interested in app development, we can combine mobi control and Snap together with our premium support into the mobi control Snap bundle. And our most popular bundle at the moment is going gangbusters because, I think it's one that Excite has the highest uptake of any product in our company's history. So we're doing a lot with Excite. This is becoming a default offering where we offer mobi control together with Excite. So the analytics component of our solution together with our enterprise service as well. So those are the main offerings that we have. Now, I won't go into the partner tiers so much, just to say that we do have, depending on the revenue that you bring in as a partner, we offer you different partner tiers where you can attract additional discounts. Now, I want you to know that due to the arrangement that we have now with Ace Communications, it's actually, how we're going to do it is you go through distribution, so Ace Communications. The level of discount that you get through Ace is going to be higher than you will get with our normal standard partner discounts. Okay, so that means hopefully you'd be able to offer the product to your customers at a little bit less than list price. But even at that point, you have substantial margins that you could, take as well, even on top of the margin that we put through Ace Communications. So we've come up with a very good model through Ace to purchase directly through them. So that's really, I guess, all I wanted to cover today in terms of our engagement. So I think I'll see if there's any more Q&A. No, there's no more questions. I think that I've run right up until my 45-minute time allocation. So I just wanted to thank you, everybody, for joining the session. Really appreciate it. And if you have any further questions, please either feel free to reach out to me directly, or happy for you to also, of course, come through Ace Communications as well. So thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Christian, that was fantastic. So thank you very much for showing us the SOTI MDM platform. Endless possibilities. It's a very exciting opportunity for all of us to build a new and standalone revenue stream that includes but doesn't rely on Android radio in the mix. All the better if it can, but we don't have to have Android radio in there, but we definitely have a path. So what we have is a powerful MDM solution for most customers, because we can do it as little as 10 subs, which is the majority of businesses out there at least. It's scalable, it solves problems and offers a path for future devices. And I think importantly, this also represents a means to differentiate from everyone else and to keep your customers sticky by having this kind of solution on board. So look, to all our partners, we realize this is new and a bit of a departure from what some of you might be used to. So as Christian said initially, all you need to do is identify opportunities for SOTI, and Ace will assist to engage SOTI, who can support you direct, or to make it even easier, you could hit Christian up direct. We don't mind. Ultimately, the quote will come back through ACE, but how you get there, we don't mind. All we want to do is make this successful for you. So we're here to help, easy peasy. Okay, so what's going to happen next is we'll top and tail this video and we'll get it ready and pop it up on the YouTube channel. And in the coming days, we'll share some of that information that Christian showed as well, including discount structure and pricing. But we do encourage initially to, you know, obviously liaise with SOTI about your quotes, just to make sure you're getting it right for your first few, and then make sure we don't leave any money off the table there, or get stuck with something we've got to pay for. No one wants to do that, and there's quite a bit to navigate. But yeah, relatively speaking, I think for a new launch and a new solution, I hope that we've made this as easy as possible. So yeah, thanks again everyone for joining today, and yeah, we look forward to working with you on some SOTI opportunities. Catch you all later. Thanks again, Christian.
Great. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Bye-bye.